Tiana and Chase was funny. It was a bit more intense for Tiana because life was just dumping on her, poor girl. And we can all go through that where we feel poor and where things aren't going well and that we need help, right? And she needed that, but she had a plan where she was going to marry rich because she was sick of being poor. And she was sick of not being able to provide the things that her son needed. Mm-hmm. And I think that is superbly relatable, where you feel like you're failing as a parent. And she really felt that at that time. And so that's what motivated her to go seek out not necessarily the most appropriate relationship with one person to try and date him. And then her son kind of called her on it. And the other guy, Chase, he's super nice. Total nerd. He admits it.
But I liked him as a nerd. It was funny, though, because he really was a good-hearted, meaning well, wanting... he didn't have that hoity-toity...
But he didn't grow up that way. Yeah. He grew up in a middle-class neighborhood. Even though he had earned money...
He was a self-made.
He was a self-made guy, and he grew up in a middle-class neighborhood, and he really enjoyed his middle-class roots. And so he wanted that for his adulthood. He was getting to the point in his life where he wanted to have a wife and a middle-class neighborhood. And, have the house, the yard, the dog, and he wanted to mow the lawn. It was a very guy view on it.
Yeah.
He didn't want to have... He was tired of trying to pretend to be rich all the time, because even though he was rich, he didn't necessarily feel it.
I thought it was hilarious. The ex-girlfriend.
Oh, yes. Yes, the ex-girlfriend who would not go away.
So funny. She was so delusional. Oh, my.
She was great.
Oh, that was fun.
I had no idea she was that bad, but she was fun. So, yes, even if you just tune in for her, she was fun.
Cheers to that one. Wow.
She was fun, and it helped that, Tiana and Chase finally did get together, and her son totally approved, because he liked Chase a lot. They got along first. They became friends first before, the parents got dating, which was great. I think that was super.
Even though they're totally attracted at the beginning, and she was like, not even seeing it.
Yeah, she didn't even, he was like, wow, this girl's great, and I really like her, and she's like, he's just the guy who works at the grocery store. Yeah. Yeah. And if you want to know why he's working at a grocery store, you have to go read the book, because, that's not his real vocation. No. Okay, so next after them will be Bo and Kyra. So Tiana and Chase was the love plan. Yeah, let's put that up there. Everett and Bree, I don't think we said they were in pursuit of a billionaire. Bo and Kyra is,
coming soon.
Coming soon, but I know I have the title. It's something like If You Ask Her or something like that. I forget exactly what it is. It's something like that.
I'm surprised Bo is before Tomlin.
I wanted Tomlin and Bex to anchor it. That's why. So Bo's my firefighting guy.
Yeah, I liked the intro to that one. That was cool.
He used to have anger issues, which is why he didn't get adopted. So he's a foster care kid. And he is a bit of kind of because he's a firefighter and he's buff, he's kind of conceited about his looks just a tiny bit. Not much, but, he knows he's fine. And so he likes...
brother.
Yeah, he's fine, brother. And so he likes to have a fine lady. Well, Kyra, who is... But also, he kind of delves on women's... let's just say...
Is he a player?
He dates a lot. He's not necessarily a player, but he focuses on the faults.
Oh yeah,
especially physical faults. So he has lots of girlfriends, and he'll be like dating them, and then he'll be like, I just can't get over that her nose is too big for her face. And it's silly, but it's true, and that's who he is. And that's his kind of internal voice going, this woman's not right for you. And so he picks on something. And that's how everybody kind of makes fun of him, because they're like, what was this girlfriend's name? Because is she even worth knowing her name? Because he's gone through so many girls, right? And he can do that because he's a fine guy and girls are attracted to him.
But he just finds imperfections and that's it.
He's
He's always finding something wrong.
And I think that's
so that he doesn't have to commit or emotionally
He doesn't have to get emotionally involved. He doesn't have to attach to them. And that's his way of going, I know you're going to reject me because, I was rejected as a kid. And, that's his kind of motivation behind it. And that, that's the way you can kind of connect to him because he's pushing people away so that he doesn't get hurt.
He's not a playa as in he's going to, use you and hurt you.
No.
He's just, I'm looking. Oh, maybe not you. Oh,
he's a grazer.
You? No.
He's a grazer.
Yeah.
He likes to be over the other fence a lot. So he met...
Pushing that fence.
He meets Kyra, and Kyra is a firefighter as well. And Kyra is not exactly perfect. She's going to have a lot of booty. Poor girl.
Some men like that.
She is, she's going to be a little bit overweight. And so he's going to be kind of challenged by her. And they're going to not like each other because she doesn't like players.
Well,
because what woman really does? I mean, he might be fine.
Unless you think you're going to change him, which...
She doesn't. She doesn't. She's like, I want a solid guy.
Real.
I want a solid guy. I want a responsible guy. I want a future. And so he kind of develops a crush on her. And then it won't go away. So that's how he knows that she's the one. But she's like, no. So they're going to have some fun.
Heard your story before.
They're going to have some fun and some conflict resolution, and they're going to have to try and get over that. And in the meanwhile, they're going to have lots of adventures as firefighters because, building buildings, abandoned buildings, kittens up in trees. Why wouldn't we just throw them in those situations? It's going to be fun because that's what I do.
Yeah.
And then...
You got to have fun with it. That's the whole thing throughout as well, that there's comedy.
Yes. You're
having a lot of fun in order to, because you have to make life good and enjoyable, even though there's a lot of stuff going on. You just really have to enjoy.
I think that's called If You Ask Her, but I'm going to have to double check that. I know what the next one's going to be called. The next one is Always Yours. Always, and not that I can spell yours. Okay. And that's Bex and Tomlin's series.
And it does fit, yeah.
Because they've been with each other since they were 15.
And Bex has always been, he's the one.
He's the one. And
you don't know much about him.
Okay,
because she's more Kelly's friend, so you get to hear more story.
She's Kelly and Tiana's friend. She's a bit of an airhead, but she's also really smart in a lot of ways because she will manipulate things by being an airhead to her advantage. And like Derek said, with Bex, you never quite know. She's just a lot of fun. And she works at a fertility clinic. I was going to have her in like the reception area, but I think she's like in the lab kind of a bit too. So she's not dumb. She's quite smart, and she's doing her thing. And we know in number 4 that she got pregnant.
Well, maybe she's just not like socially smart. She's just like she's socially friendly smart, but not like street smart sort of thing. She's smart.
She's interesting. She's a flake on purpose sometimes. Sometimes she's not. Like if you kind of think Phoebe from Friends, she's kind of there.
Let's that, but
character comparison. But at the same
like
time,
super smart. But
she's really lovable because she loves everybody and she wants the best for them. And she's fun. And she has been Tomlin's girlfriend for 3 days out of the year, or 4 days out of the year, basically. Every year for 15 years, pretty much. Because, they met when they're 15. They're in their 30s now.
And you don't really hear a lot about their story, but you don't even know who Tomlin, what he does, or who he is, half of it.
Tomlin is a big giant of a guy. He's very fit. And he comes by for Thanksgiving, and then he's gone. And every time they ask him about his job, he goes, "It's classified," with a big grin. That's who he is. He's like, "Classified, what have you guys been up to?" Like, he's really excited to see them and talk to them, and then he disappears for the rest of the year. He's gone. They have zero contact with this guy.
And you don't even know if she does or anybody else does that at that point. You kind of learn that along the way of how and what he does. Gets a little bit secret in Everett and Bree.
When we get to Everett and Bree in Pursuit of a Billionaire, we actually see a little glimpse into what Tomlin does. So
look for that.
It is very interesting to kind of go, because I like my characters to cross back and forth, and then it's kind of like, oh, that's him for the readers who get it. And we will explain it in Always Yours, what he does a little bit, because he's going to have a major conflict and a major issue, which is going to finally bring him home. Because he's going to miss his first Thanksgiving, and that's going to be really rough on Brie, because, sorry, not on Brie, on Bex. Because she had the baby, and she's looking forward to going, hello, this is your baby. And he's not going to show. And she's going to wonder why. And then we're going to come back and we're going to find him and find out why he didn't come. It's going to be a huge issue. And then he's got to come back into their lives and go, okay, you know what, I'm here for good. And, you know, he's going to tell them a little bit about his story and what he does. And, you know, he loved what he did, but he can't do it anymore. And we'll find out why.
Well, if you're going to be a baby daddy, you got to kind of...
Well, he had to come home. He had to come home for her.
He had to make some choices.
He had to finally come home for her. And it was good for him to do that. And he's going to be really surprised. Surprise, you have a baby. Yes. Because he hasn't been there the whole time. Which is sad, but true. But that's the life that he led. And there are reasons he led that life that way. So it's going to be really interesting to see what
you don't know how much
are.
She knew or how much she said or anything either.
Yeah.
You need some more water?
Hi. You need water? Yeah, that's mine. Thank you.
Yep.
So yeah.
I was going to leave David to the last, you know, the person we always love to hate.
He is the person we love to hate. Okay, so side characters who never got their own story.
Rachel, is she going to get one? Backstory?
That would be interesting, wouldn't it? To make her, like, backstory, a little prologue or something like that. Or if she gets, finally has, like, love rather than just him. That would be interesting, actually. I mean, she's older. She's a senior citizen, really. But why couldn't she have a love story? That would be interesting to see how that went. That could be done.
Because Grandma loves to.
Yeah. She loves her kids. She loves her grandkids. She thinks they're the greatest thing ever. And I think what made her really sympathetic was in Words Unspoken, where how she treated Anne.
She's really good to her.
And how she stood up to her husband and went to Max's wedding. And they didn't expect her to, and she went. And we got really introduced to her there, and she was really, really nice and really a good character. And you could see how Michael Michael took after her.
She's the glue that held everything together.
Yes. She might be a, tiny older lady, but she's got some steel to her, I think, to have to put up with all that.